and you just haven't even deigned to think that maybe the way I carry myself isn't attractive. You know, like maybe when I'm just like boring, negative, can't make eye contact, can't approach a girl. I never ask them out. I never am able to like have a sexual energy like he was showing. And I don't do any of these things, and yet, oh, it's just because of my looks. So really have to be aware of that dichotomy or that self-created prison that, oh, it's all because of my looks, so I'm not going to work on anything else. Well, why don't you experiment and try putting in a little more swag in the way you interact? You know, try actually approaching a girl. I don't know, it's crazy. Like a lot of guys are like, well, I'm not attractive, and that's why I don't approach. Well, actually, to a large degree, you're not attractive because you don't approach. Really think about that. That was a pretty good, catchy little one-liner. Because you're not attractive because you don't approach. What I mean is, because you never approach, you have no confidence with women. It's like if you've never driven and you try driving a car, you're going to freak out, right, the first time. You've never done it, so of course you're not confident. Why would you be confident? It would be foolish to be confident out of, like, it wouldn't make any sense, right? It would just be contradictory. So you've never done it, and you think it's because you're not good looking enough, but it's actually you're not attractive because you have no confidence because you don't approach, right? So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And once you start approaching women, you'll realize some of them, maybe it's 10%, whatever, some of them like you. Some of them start going, oh my God, thank you, you made my day. Or like, I have a boyfriend, but you know, I'll suck your dick in the bathroom real quick. That's, you know, whatever. You're gonna have these interesting experiences. You're gonna get positive reactions. You're gonna have some girls clearly be into you. If you're approaching enough, which 95% of you aren't.
Yeah.
Right? You're dipping your feet in the water, and it's like someone, if they wanted to learn an instrument, they wanted to learn guitar, and they play like 5 minutes a week, and they think they're going to be able to play, what's that Dragon Force song from Guitar Hero? Through the Fire and the Flames. Like, why can't I pull a threesome with tens? Why can't I pull tens even though I'm doing 5 minutes a week? Because if you're doing like 1 or 2 approaches a week, which is more than probably average.
It's better than
If you're doing
nothing.
a 1 to 2, it's better than nothing, but that is like playing guitar for like 10 minutes a week. You're not going to get good at it. It's better than nothing, but you have to build on that and increase that. So you've decided you're not attractive, and therefore you're not going to approach, but it's actually the other way around, and you can't expect to be getting any kind of results with something that's really dipping your feet in the water. Like something that you can do in 10 minutes, like 1 or 2 approaches, that's nothing, right? It's just not enough. And as you approach more, you start getting some good reactions. Some girls reject you, but they're usually polite, so that disproves the whole like, oh, they're gonna be creeped out and they're gonna like, you know, freak out and call the cops and all these things. You disproves these negative beliefs. Their boyfriend's gonna beat up. I've only been beaten up by 3 boyfriends. It's not that bad. I'm kidding. I haven't been beaten up by any boyfriends after doing this for years. So when you put that all together, the more you approach, you get more confident because you start to see some women like you, which disproves your limiting belief. And that makes you more attractive because now you know that some women like you. You know that you have a chance. It's not over for you. It's not hopeless. You don't need to like get leg lengthening surgery to have a chance, or move to the Philippines and be a, what do you call it, like get a foreign bride or whatever that you pay for. What's that show, The Love, where they get like poor women, 90 Day Fiance.
Oh,
You don't
yeah,
have to
it's
do 90 Day
terrible.
Fiance. So that's a huge part of it. And if you're not taking actions that could get you women, you're not going to increase your perception of attractiveness as much as you should. Now, with that said, is it going to help to do things like meditation, to read good books? I don't know why the light keeps changing. Sorry, guys. To read good books, to work out, to follow a diet. Like, all that stuff is great, and you should do it, and increasing your self-esteem will help. But don't avoid the one thing that actually leads to sex, right? That like the clear yes or no is approaching and asking girls out, using dating apps and setting up dates and that kind of thing. If you're not doing that, don't expect anything to happen.
And we had a lot of guys who were complaining about different things. It was height, race, this, that. And I've never, all right.
An Indian man has never gotten laid.
Indian men.
That's why there's a billion of them. That's funny. Like,
That's so terrible. Okay, so look.
short guys have never gotten laid. That's why the average height in many countries is like 5'4". It's never happened.
But let me ask you a question, because I know the answer for myself, and I do know what you're gonna say too. But I want to ask it for posterity.
Sure. Do you say posterity?
I think did I say it wrong?
Like prostate. But go on.
Okay, so everybody that all right, so we've done a lot of boot camps. I mean, in the hundreds, and I've had a lot of people where I'm on the phone call with them and we're setting up the boot camp, whatnot. They're telling me like, look, to be serious here, I don't think I can do this because of A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And maybe they give me a really good fucking excuse, and I will play into it. I'll be like, he's giving a good argument. That's crazy. And then I meet him in person, and he's doing fucking everything wrong.
And he's like, hello,
Yeah.
ladies.
He's like, hi.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, how's it going?
Bitch.
Ha 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 ha. He's not like, hey. He's not like, hey. You're totally my fucking type. He's like, you guys are doing shit that it's not these little like these excuses that are actually stopping you. Because as a coach, I've never actually seen these excuses stop somebody. I've not seen it yet. We had a guy who was in a wheelchair as a coach for RSD, and he was pulling every night. He was like, we called him the Viking. We called him like, he had like a wheelchair, and then he got on crutches, and then he rolled like, so eventually moved up to crutches, and his legs were still crushed. And so he would like roll up to like girls on crutches and shit, and he just was still pulling. It was crazy. I don't know. We've seen guys of every fucking demeanor, every height, every race crush it at this point, and you don't have an excuse. If you have an excuse, you're just looking for reasons not to invest in yourself because you're afraid that if I invest in this and I don't succeed, it's going to hurt your ego, or it's this, or it's that. You're trying to find ways to be consistent and still get good at this. You can't be the same person and expect to get good at this. You have to change, and I know for those of you who've been the same person for a long time, you guys will have a lot of resistance. You guys will find excuses naturally. They'll simmer up to the top. But you have to understand those excuses are bullshit. Like, it doesn't help to fucking focus on excuses. If you guys want to pragmatically and strategically get good at this is how you do this. If you're not going to get coaching, which is okay if you don't. It's expensive. I get it. But you at least should be writing field reports. You need to be thinking critically, and you need to become your own coach, because it's not that thing that you think is holding you back that's holding you back. It's energetically. Oftentimes it's energetically. There's a lot of different things it could be. I've seen guys where they auto-eject themselves, where a girl starts liking them, like, and they leave.
I had a client, this is, 6 months ago or so. I had a client approach a really cute girl who he was super into. Within 3 minutes, she started mentioning the idea of like getting a drink with him in her room. And he said, oh, actually, I don't have time, because he's like, I have to go back to get more coaching, so I'm not going to pull.
Oh, dude.
And he said, actually, I don't have time, so I'll get your number. And of course, he got her number and didn't see her again. She invited him to her room, and he didn't get laid. So the idea of like, it's all about looks and attractiveness, and if you don't have it, like, it's so easy to fumble it. I used to be that bad. Maybe you're not that bad, but you probably don't even know when you're getting in your own way. When a girl's clearly feeling you, they're not gonna say, rarely, I've had it happen a few times, like, wanna have sex? They're not gonna say that, right? It's not gonna happen. So a lot of times women were into you and they did find you attractive, but because you didn't find yourself attractive, you lost it, right? Because you thought they were just gonna reject you and you had a limiting belief, right? Like that client who just, he shot himself in the foot, or shot himself in the dick, really, more accurately. And so that's something you really need to think about is if you haven't been approaching, asking girls out, and it could be online, it could be whatever, but actually asking them on dates, escalating, and inviting girls to a place where you could have sex, like inviting them back to your place or their place or whatever. If you're not doing those things, don't blame anything else. That's something that you really gotta be cognizant of, is that if you're not doing those things, how are you gonna blame that, oh, I'm just not physically attractive enough? And make yourself better looking. Look, I've lost 16 pounds in the last about 2 months. And how did I do that? I've just been doing the 1 meal a day diet. I go to a buffet, eat, choose the healthy stuff, not like shitty stuff. Just eat that, get 10,000 steps a day, and I have been not drinking, right? So those 3 things, that's improving my looks. It's improving my SMV. But I have an infield video pulling. Yeah, I could show like my face like not that long ago. I'll show the difference. But I have an infield where I weighed 215 pounds, so 15 pounds more than I do now. And in that video, I pull a fitness model, right? When I'm at my worst in terms of physical looks. And I've also been, 160 pounds and very, in great shape, right? I was 12% body fat at one point and athletic and all that. And I got way worse results. So that's how I know it's not, yes, looks are a factor. Yes, you should take care of yourself, of course. But it's not just the physical improvement, it's the self-esteem improvement, right? That's actually just as important, is that you feel good about yourself, and that aura just radiates. Like, if you like yourself, other people will like you. If you feel like I'm a piece of shit who doom scrolls all day, who never gets out of the house, who has no hobbies, no interests, no good habits, I don't read, I don't meditate, I don't work out, I'm not leveling up in my career, then yeah, you're gonna carry yourself in a way that women don't find particularly attractive.